Right, good morning traders. How are you? I hope you are well on this morning. What is this morning? It's Wednesday, the 2nd of November. We've already got some questions in from Jade. So Jade, we will get to those questions shortly, okay? So you want to understand the Euro, Aussie, dollar, and all those, also the psychology of that as well. So we will definitely get to that, Jade. Don't worry, we will answer those shortly. Because Euro, Aussie, dollar is actually a trade idea for today as well. And we're looking for longs. Guys, we've used a filter today. All my friends keep taking the mickey out of me of how red I look on camera. So we've used a filter. I'm not this red in real life. I don't know what's happening. So yeah, we've used a filter now. So hopefully less red. More important than trading is how red I am. I'm only joking. As always, guys, today we're going to look back at yesterday's trades, which there were two. And we're also going to look at today's potential trades and also the news, guys, as we always do. And most importantly, we're going to answer all of your questions. All right. So guys, get your thinking hats on. Whatever you need help with, it could be a trade that you're in. It could be money management. It could be psychology. It could be reading a trend, support and resistance zones. It can be whatever you like, guys. So please ask as many questions. There's no such thing as a silly question. There might be, but there isn't. And yeah, all about trading. Okay, not my personal life. I'm only joking. You don't ask these questions. So yeah, morning Jade, morning John. Nice to have you on, guys. And anything else to tell you? And obviously, guys, yeah, don't forget the Discord channel. You'll probably see the Discord logo on the screen somewhere. Yeah, so come join the Discord channel. We've got loads of good traders on there, sharing their ideas, anything from scalping strategies to swing strategies. All right, so join Discord would be my advice. Come on, enjoy it, embrace it. Have a good time with other traders. Right, guys. So we're already getting questions in already. Morning, Rahil. I want to go in pound New Zealand long as weekly structure has broken. Okay, we'll have a look at pound New Zealand. Morning, Mohammed. Yeah, good to have you all on this morning, guys. And like I say, yeah, fire your questions away. Let's just start. We will look at Euro Aussie dollar, Jade, and we will look at pound New Zealand dollar, Rahil. But let's just start with looking at yesterday's trades. Let's just get them done, and then we can focus on the questions, guys. All right. So the two trades from yesterday were these. So pound New Zealand dollar, we were looking to short this pair. All right. And the reasons for that were basically we were seeing a head and shoulders pattern. Woohoo! We love head and shoulders. Also love the shampoo head and shoulders. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, price was in an uptrend on pound New Zealand dollar. This is the day chart. Yeah. Higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. Didn't create a higher low, but the lows didn't break. And then we come up again. And now we're seeing a reaction downwards. Okay. So this is the head and shoulders pattern that I'm talking about. Okay. If you're new to the channel, you may not have seen a head and shoulders pattern. If you're not new to the channel, you're probably sick of me talking about head and shoulders patterns, but that is what I am seeing. So for that reason, yeah, we were seeing a head and shoulders pattern and we had this very bearish candle form. Yeah. So the idea was just to take price back down to these lows, this blue line here, which corresponds with these lows. Okay, that was the idea. We had a bit of room to move into. Okay, but now, like Rahil said, it is at a very important level now. It'd be interesting to see what it does at this level. Okay. Let's drop down now to the H1 chart because that's where we always execute our trades. And the problem for me is, guys, I just couldn't get into this trade. It had already hit my higher time frame target. Yeah, it already hit these lows before. Yeah, so I couldn't get into this pair. Like I say, guys, I normally trade around this sort of time, and price had already come down and hit our higher time frame target. What I needed to see was a bit of a retrace, and then we could take price lower. Okay, guys, so for me, I didn't have a trade on pound New Zealand dollar. There was this candle that come up and retraced, hit our grey zone, and then come shooting back down. But again, guys, I wouldn't have taken this candle because we have already hitten. Yeah, is that a word? Hitten? We had already hit these daily lows with this where this blue line was drawn. Okay, guys, so for me, no trade on pound New Zealand dollar because it had already hit the daily low before I could even get into the trade. Okay, so no trade, guys. But Rahil, let's look at you. You're looking at pound New Zealand dollar. So let's have a quick look at it for Rahil. So guys, yeah, obviously this grey zone that I've drawn in is the important grey zone, the pivotal area for this pair. It's a pivotal area. So what I need to see, guys, is, to be honest with you, because I'm seeing a head and shoulders pattern, first and foremost, yeah, I'm reluctant to buy out of this grey zone. Okay, because I'm seeing a head and shoulders pattern, I am reluctant to buy at this grey zone. Okay, so what I want to see, okay, is price break this grey zone. Okay, it may break today, may take a couple of days, but I just want to see price break out of this grey zone. Yeah, this could happen today, guys. Yeah, maybe if we got a H4 candle that broke this grey zone, a retest, and then we can start taking shorts on this pair, guys. Okay, so on the day chart, this is what I would be looking for. Okay, but if we look at the weekly chart, guys, yeah, it is at an interesting, it's just at an interesting level. Okay, so you can see all this area here is clearly once resistance is now becoming support. If I drew this grey line along, yeah, you can see that this is clearly an area here, and now it's come back to this level. It could be an area of support to come higher, but like I say, I'm seeing a head and shoulders pattern, and I wouldn't like to buy into that. So I would look for shorts, potentially back down to the moving average 20 or these last swing highs here. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for on pound New Zealand dollar. Yeah, so I hope that helps. But as with regards to yesterday's trade, we couldn't get into this pair. Rahil, what should we do after the rate hike? That is the $1 million question. You should do nothing after the rate hike, and we will look at that later. Okay, so let's look at yesterday's trade as well, guys. So New Zealand, the Swiss franc. This was also a trade from yesterday, guys, and we were looking to buy this pair. And this was quite an interesting one. We can learn some things off of this trade. Also, guys, a quick mention. Clocks don't go backwards or forwards in Dubai. So we almost arrived an hour earlier this morning, but thankfully we worked it out and we are on time. This is wonderful news for us. We would have been there with nobody watching. Okay, so yesterday's trade was also this: New Zealand dollar against the Swiss franc. Okay, and we were trading this pair because it's in an uptrend. Okay, so price was in a downtrend. Yeah, lower lows, lower highs, didn't create a lower low. And then when price doesn't create a lower low, it's creating higher lows. Therefore, this could be a red flag that price is breaking down. And then this whole area here for me was because we had this, and also this red candle here. So once price broke out of this, Even when it broke out of this area, guys, we still had these two candles here, and they have got top wicks. Yeah. If I'm looking to long a pair and the daily chart has top wicks that are quite large, it doesn't fill me with confidence. Yeah. So if I zoom in, guys, so price had broken out of our zone here. Yeah. But then we got this wick and this wick. Yeah. That doesn't fill me with confidence to start buying this market. Okay. So it wasn't until this candle formed, okay, that I was willing to look for longs up to our blue line. All right, guys. So yeah, read the daily candles. Yeah, I cannot express this enough. Read the daily candles. What is the daily candle? If you only read one candle for the day, yeah, read the daily candle. It will pretty much tell you where we're going. All right. So New Zealand Swiss franc, the daily candle in an uptrend. And if I zoom out again, guys, we had room to move into. Okay, we had room to move into. All right, guys, so that was the trade idea to go long. Let's go to the H1 now. And it was a tricky chart, guys. All right. So price did come down to our grey zone, as you can see. Yeah, price come down, tested it with this candle here. All right, and then we got a bullish reaction, yeah, here. And then arguably we had this candle here. I probably wouldn't entered on this first candle, but I could have entered on this H1 candle. Entered here, put my stop below here, take price back up to the highs. Okay, I would have got my risk to reward. And yeah, it looks like a good trade on the H1, guys. But remember what I always say, you're trading the H1. This is your execution time frame, but you have to keep an eye on what the H4 is doing. Yeah, do not be blind to the H4. So yeah, we were thinking about entering off this little candle pattern. Okay, but if we go down to the H4 chart now, yeah, I would have been buying this candle. I would have been trying to, so our H1 candle happened around here, and I would have been trying to buy into this H4 candle. Yeah, and I just don't like this. That is such a bearish H4 candle. I do not want to buy into it. Okay, yeah, don't buy into these candles. Okay, but I'm not saying don't ever buy this pair again. What you can do is then read the next candles and see how they've been reacting. So it's followed by a bullish candle. We're thinking, okay, buyers could be in control. Yeah, then we've got a bearish candle, but then we do have this strong rejection wick. We've got a bit of a nothing candle. This doesn't tell us anything. And then we've got another doji. But now you can see that we could potentially enter on this pair upwards. Yeah, because sellers are not in control of this pair anymore. All right, this candle, do not buy into. These candles, yeah, we can buy into. All right, so bear that in mind, guys. You must look at the H4 candles. All right, and then if we go down to the H1 chart, because of that, once price, yeah, we didn't want to buy this one, and then price comes back down, test the H4, test our grey zone again. Yeah, nothing tells me we can enter here, and then eventually we get this candle. Okay, and this tells me buyers have taken back control of the H1 chart. Yeah, it's a real bullish candle. And the H4 chart is also now tradable. We could look for longs. So this was the candle to enter on, guys. Yeah, enter here, put your stop below. You'd have to put it below this swing low, okay? And then take price back up to this last high, okay? And this was eventually the candle that I entered on, okay? And I literally just closed 80% this morning, okay, guys? So closed 80% at these last highs, as we usually do. I got my risk to reward of a little bit more than 1:1. And yeah, it was a good trade, guys. I'm still in this trade. I still think this pair has a little bit of room to the upside. And I will just, so my 20% remaining is here. And I will just trail my stop according to price action. So if this is the price action, I'll move my stop from here to here and just trail the stop upwards, guys. All right, so yeah, I just wanted to show you them first, guys. Those were the two trade ideas from yesterday. Yeah, pound New Zealand, didn't have a trade, couldn't get into it. And New Zealand Swiss franc, we had a trade late yesterday evening, and we literally took some profit this morning. Just one more thing on this one, guys, because on my Discord channel, I spoke about an M15 break. So I must mention that as well. Okay, so yeah, potentially when price breaks this level on the H15, okay, we could potentially have a trade, a scalp. Yeah, price was in an uptrend, okay, yeah, then it broke down, okay, then when price breaks out of this level with this candle here, yeah, we could scalp to the top of these last highs. Okay, but the problem with this scalp is if I enter here, yeah, I still have to put my stop down here. Okay, and this is now my reward. Okay, so this is refining your trade on the M15, and then this is my risk. So even as a M15 scalp up to these highs, it didn't make sense, guys. Okay. All right. So I mentioned this on Discord, so I just wanted to show you this quickly. But yeah, it still didn't make sense because the risk to reward wasn't there, even if we drop down to the M15 chart. Okay, guys. Good. I wanted to show you this. Right, Jade, your question was first. And what was the question? Hello, Tom. Has your bias long on Euro Aussie dollar changed yet? Or are you still? No, yeah, I am still looking to buy this pair, Jade. Okay, so Euro Aussie dollar is an interesting one. All right, so let's bring Euro Aussie dollar up. Where is Euro? Okay. Excuse me. Let me have some gin. It's gin this morning, not vodka. I've got a new mic, so you can probably hear every gulp and mouthful that I do. So I apologize for that. So Euro Aussie dollar is actually a trade idea for today. So let's spend some time looking at this. So again, guys, let's do a top-down approach. Okay. So if we look at the weekly chart, guys, yeah, price was in a downtrend, lower lows, lower highs, didn't create a lower low. And what does that always tell us, guys? Yeah, you should be shouting at the screen now. It tells us that price could be breaking down. Yeah, if we're not creating lower lows, the trend is not strong. Okay, and then sure enough, eventually these highs get taken out. All right, and now structurally we have higher highs. Yeah, so we are in an uptrend. Okay, we're in an uptrend for this pair. So the weekly chart we like the look of to take longs. Also, yeah, price has been bouncing off of this grey zone. Yeah, what was once resistance has now become support. We'll see that more clearly on the day chart. Okay, so let's look at Euro Aussie dollar day chart. So yeah, this is that grey zone that we were looking at. What was once resistance, okay, has now broken, and now it's become a good area for support. Yeah, we've had a couple of reactions here. Okay, so yeah, weekly trend is still in an uptrend, and daily trend is still in an uptrend. Yeah, these lows here have not broken. Okay, so structurally we're in an uptrend, and at this level we've had I wouldn't say it's a super duper bullish candle. In fact, it's a doji, but it's rejected this level. Yeah, it's rejected this gray zone to the upside. Okay, so this interests me, this candle. All right, so now, yeah, so day chart has given me enough reasons to look for longs for this pair. And the target would be back up to these last highs here. Okay, so let's drop down. Let's look at the H4 now, guys, as well. Okay, so if we looked at the H4 chart, guys, yeah, we're in a bit of a range, aren't we? Yeah, it's just been ranging. Okay, so it was, yeah, it's come down. It was in a downtrend, but now it's just been kind of ranging. Okay, so yeah, then go down to the H1 chart. And yeah, what I want to see, guys, is this. Okay, so my bias, Jay, to answer your question, is still long for this pair. Yeah, I'm still looking to long this pair. All right, and now we're going to find some areas from which we could long it. So if we are feeling aggressive, yeah, you could trade from this gray zone. Okay, yeah, nothing wrong with that. It's an aggressive trade. We would be getting in early. All right. So let's say, yeah, this candle remains like this and it's quite a bullish candle. Yeah, we could enter on this candle, but we'd have to put our stop below here. Okay. And then, you know, our first target on is the H1 high. And it doesn't really make sense in terms of risk to reward. But, you know, if you ignored this as your first target and took it back up to these last highs, then, okay, we could look to take this trade on the first H1 bullish candle that we see. Okay. But for me, you can get in at the early price or you can get in at the right price or the safe price, if you like. So what I'm seeing on this pair, guys, is this. So there's clearly an area here on the H1 where price has been reacting. Okay, I would probably refine this a little bit just up to these. Okay, so guys, this is a trade idea today. Yeah, this is a trade idea today. Okay, but what I would want to see, yeah, for me to start buying this pair is for price to come out of this gray zone. Yeah, get a little retest, and then we could take price. This would be my first target. Yeah, up to these last highs here. Yeah, and this psychological level. Okay, and then close 80% here, and then leave 20% to run. Okay. So that's what I'm looking for, Jade. I hope that answers your question. Yeah, my bias is still long because weekly structure is upwards, daily structure is upwards. And once we get a H1 structure break like here, yeah, I'm also interested in taking longs on this pair. Okay, if price starts breaking below these levels, not interested. Yeah, it's breaking these lows. All right, so yeah, I hope that answers your question for Euro Aussie dollar. Okay, so yeah, Jade, you're okay. Let's have a look. So Jade's saying, I think the daily is where I was confused since it hasn't made higher highs yet, but likely the weekly explanation. Thank you. Yeah, it hasn't made higher highs yet. Yeah, I agree with you. This was the high. This was the high. But because of that weekly uptrend and this gray zone, yeah, is a good area of support. Yeah, it hasn't made higher highs, but I still think price can get at least back to these highs. Yeah, and if it starts to make higher highs, then great. We still have more room to the upside. But yeah, I still think we can get at least back up to these highs. All right, the weekly trend, the daily trend is giving me that confidence. Okay. Right. So yeah, Rahil says, what should we do after the rate hike, guys? To be honest with you, sit on your hands. Yeah, so obviously we got the big Fed interest rate decision expected at 4%, I believe. So sit on your hands. You do not know. Yeah, I cannot express this enough, guys. A few guys in my mentorship program, if you're interested in that, drop us an email. But a few guys in my mentorship program are so focused on the news and what it's going to be. And the answer is you have no idea what it's going to be. Okay? And if it's as expected, yeah, it's as expected, the data release is as expected, it could still go shooting up 100 pips. It could be as expected, and it could go shooting down 100 pips. It also has a lot to do with the press conference and how they arrived at that decision. So yeah, sit on your hands when that Fed interest rate decision is released. You do not know what it is going to do. And if you do, please tell me and I will trade it. But no one on planet Earth, maybe a few, people that, anyway, no one on Earth knows what that is going to do. So all you can do is wait for the news, let it show its hand. Yeah, if we were playing cards, let it show its hand, and then we can trade once the dust settles. Okay? Yeah, so yeah, don't do anything, Rahil. Sit on your hands. Unless you're a news trader, even then, they do not know what that price is going to do after that release. All right? So yeah, sit on your hands would be my advice. Let the market tell you what it wants to do, then trade accordingly. Okay. What do you think, Don Fresh? Love your name, Don Fresh. Yeah, we are going to... Morning, Kevin, as well. Morning, Robert. Morning, Norman. Morning, Mohammed. Don Fresh, let's look at your question now. So pound US dollar. So let's look at a couple of the US dollar pairs in general, guys. All right. So a couple of these US dollar pairs, as I said in yesterday's daily analysis, are at interesting levels. Okay. And guys, if you would like to receive my daily analysis every single day, then why not come join us? Yeah. Subscribe to the channel, smash the notification button, and also smash that like button. Yeah. Really helps support the channel, guys. I appreciate it very much. But yeah, if yesterday's video, I expressed to you that they were at really interesting levels, and the pound US dollar was one of them. So let's look at it, Don Fresh. Let's look at this trade. So for me, structure has changed on some of the US dollar pairs. Yeah, price was clearly in a downtrend. As we all know, it was in a downtrend for weeks. And the dollar was the most strongest thing on earth, stronger than diamond. That's how strong it was. Okay, but then slowly it's been losing its strength. Yeah, not forever, I'm sure, but slowly it's been losing a bit of strength. So we had a reaction at these lows here. Yeah, and then it created a lower high. Okay, but then price didn't come down and create a lower low. Instead, we created a higher low. Okay, and then this high here, yeah, after a bit of price action, eventually broke. So when this candle formed, for me, pound US dollar was in an uptrend. Okay, yeah, simple as that. We now have higher highs. All right, so day chart was telling me to potentially look for longs. And again, guys, if you follow my analysis, I was looking to take longs back up to this gray zone here, yeah, which corresponded with these last highs. Okay, so that's the day chart. Let's have a quick look at the weekly chart, guys. Okay, just to see what that was telling us as well. And the weekly chart is telling me we have a huge reaction at these lows. Yeah, Otherwise, the pound was going to fall off a cliff. We had to have a reaction. And then we've also had this very bullish weekly candle. Okay. And I think we have room to move into on the weekly chart down to this low here. Okay. So a strong weekly candle. Again, I still think we have room to move into. Okay. So, yeah, weekly is in a downtrend that tells us we have room to move into, and the day chart is now in an uptrend and we have room to move into, and it's at this level. Yeah, so these last highs here become an interesting level. Okay, yeah, so this last high here and these last highs here, so this gray zone is clearly an interesting level for this pair. Okay, you could even draw in a diagonal trend line here as well, guys. Okay, yeah, you could even draw in this. Okay, so yeah, lots of things pointing to buy this pair for me. All right, and then what we want to see, guys, is when we're in one of these gray zones, what I look for is a break upwards in H1 structure. Okay, it's generally what I look for. It might have a bit more room to the downside before it comes back up. Yeah, we don't know this. We don't have a crystal ball. All we can do is trade what the pair tells us. Yeah, what structure is telling us, what candlesticks are telling us. Okay, but we know this gray zone is an interesting level for buys. Okay, and then if we drop down to the H4 chart, this is when it becomes difficult, guys. Yeah, because I was looking at these pairs today, but it's scruffy price action. All right, but for me, H4 is in a downtrend. Lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, and this low here was a lower low. So we're looking for buys on the higher time frames, the day and weekly, but H4 is telling us price wants to come down. Yeah, so we've got mixed messages here. Okay, so let's drop down to the H1 chart and then see what that is telling us. Okay, so again, guys, this is also in a downtrend. Okay, yeah, so once price come back up to here and broke this last low, yeah, it was in a downtrend, and now price is coming up to this area here, and we're seeing a bit of a reaction to the downside. Potentially, okay, could come up. All right, so what would I want to see to start buying this pair? Perhaps a retest down to this level. Yeah, a retest down to this level, and then I would want to see an M15 structure break upwards. That's what I would want to see on the M15 chart. I want to start seeing price break upwards. Okay, so we could potentially start buying from here. Please bear in mind that price could come down further before it wants to come up. Okay, so you could trade this here if you are being particularly aggressive. Okay, and then we look for M15 break upwards. Okay, so these are the things I look at. That's potentially a trade for me. But to be more safe, less risky, I would look for this. Basically, a price could come down to here, okay, and then we want to start seeing price build up again and break, if this H1 is the last high, yeah, a break of this H1 high, therefore a break in H1 structure, and then we could start looking for longs. Okay, so that's what I want to see on pound US dollar, guys. Okay, so yeah, and then we could start seeing H1 structure break from this gray zone. I like these setups, but obviously, guys, don't forget about the elephant in the room. Okay, I don't have an elephant in this room, but you understand my meaning. It's all about the Fed interest rate decision. Yeah, so yeah, you know, you really have to wait for that today before you start buying or selling US dollar pairs. Yeah, so you might have to sit on your hands a bit, Dom Fresh, and wait for that Fed interest rate decision. Let the Fed interest rate decision show its hand, and then follow the trend after the decision's been made. Okay. Okay, guys. Let's look at another question. So actually, let's look at also Euro US dollar, because the same is happening here. We've got US dollar pairs at interesting levels. All right. So we just looked at pound US dollar. This is now Euro US dollar. Okay. And I will do this for all my Discord posse. Yeah. Because you all keep an eye on Euro US dollar. It's quite a popular traded pair. Yeah, the spreads, the commissions are low, and we like this. But Euro US dollar, okay, it's broken out of this triangle. Yeah, I'm amazed I drew that well. And we are clearly in an uptrend. Yeah, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. Yeah, and then prices come back here. Okay, potentially this. Okay. Excuse me. Gin time. Yeah, I apologize for my gulping. The mic is very sensitive now. Might go back to my old mic. Yeah, so guys, yeah, we're clearly seeing this upward trend broken out of this triangle, and it's come back, and this is an interesting level. Yeah. Okay. It was once upon a time, it was support, and then it became resistance, and now price is back into this gray zone. So another interesting zone on a US dollar pair. So again, guys, I like to trade with trend on the day chart. Let's take a quick look at the weekly. If I remember, the weekly is just a mess. Yeah, which it is. Yeah, so I mean, the weekly chart is still in a downtrend. Lower lows. Excuse me, guys. I have a frog in my throat. Lots of animal references today. You can see. Yeah, price is in a downtrend. Yeah, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. This was probably the last low, but this is still held. Yeah, this wick has closed back into this last high here. But so the weekly chart is a tricky one because it's still saying downward trend, but the day chart is telling me buy. Again, everything will hinge on the Fed interest rate decision today, and it's not unusual that macroeconomic data, such as the interest rate decision, marries technical analysis. You'll be amazed of how often that happens. Okay, but yeah, into an interesting gray zone. Then we want to start dropping down to the lower time frames to see how we can trade this pair. And again, H4 in a downtrend. Okay, and we had lower lows breaking this low, which makes it less appealing to take longs. But what I'm looking for, guys, is a structure break on the H1. Yeah, so we can start looking to buy this pair. So this is the last high on the H1 chart. Yeah, price has come down, tested this is coming down. So price could react down here. Again, if you want to be super aggressive, you could get on a bullish candlestick pattern down here. That's not how I trade. I'm not an aggressive trader. I don't like. Yeah, remember this, guys. Yeah, and I tell this to everyone on my mentorship program. You don't want to get in at the early price. You want to get in at the right price. Okay, so this area here would be an early price. The right price for me would be a structure break on the H1. Okay, yeah, so we could get in here after a structure break. Yeah. And this is the right price, not the early price. Take it back up to here, close 80%, yeah, and then let 20% run. And this 80-20 rule that I adopt, guys, is also a good idea in volatile markets. Yeah, you want to take profit early. The markets have been volatile for weeks, if not months. Yeah, so take profit early. Yeah. Okay. So, but that's what I'm seeing on a couple of US dollar pairs. They're at interesting levels. I want to see H1 structure breaks. Please bear in mind the Fed interest rate decision, but yeah, potentially buying opportunities on Euro US dollar and pound US dollar. Right. Welcome, AURAUD. Good to have you on. Welcome, Thapello. Right, Mohammed Rashwan, you would like to look at the Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar. Let me take a look for you. Okay. Let's start with a weekly chart. Let's do a top-down approach. I suggest you approach trading like this, guys, a top-down approach, so nothing catches you out. But if we look at a top-down approach, guys, this here is an area. Okay, so if we had the weekly chart, yeah, these were clearly areas of once resistance, and now, and they also become support here. Okay, and price reacted at this grey zone. So on the weekly chart, you can see price is in this grey zone. Okay, drop down to the day chart. Then we ask ourselves, what is this telling us? And this is clearly in a downtrend. Lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. Yes, we sing it now. We sing lower lows, we sing high highs because I'm crazy. Okay, so we're seeing a weekly area of support, but we're seeing a daily downtrend. So for me, it will become a difficult pair to trade. When we have potentially weekly buying pressure and daily selling pressure, yeah, this is the day trying to sell, this is the week trying to buy. I do not like pairs that are having this fight. Yeah, this is not a good fight to be in. Yeah. So, yeah, difficult to trade this pair. What I would need to see is a break in day structure, and then we could start looking for longs. And obviously, a break in day structure could take weeks. Yeah. So, sorry to sit on the fence, Mohammed, with this one, but yeah, weekly buying pressure, daily selling pressure, I don't like. What I would need to see is potentially this. Yeah, price comes down into our grey zone. Yeah, we perhaps get a little bit of indecision. Yeah, because we've got buyers and sellers on the day chart. And then we see this. We have a break, and then we are daily is then in an uptrend. And then I could look for longs. Okay, that's what I would be looking for with this pair. Admittedly, that could take days, weeks, but that's what I would look for. If we started seeing a clear break of, you know, potentially this low here, because this is the last low in this grey zone. Yeah, if we saw a break of this, then potentially we could come down lower as well. Okay, so it's all about what happens in this grey zone currently. All right, guys, so Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar, yeah, I would stay out of this for the time being. Okay, Mohammed, so I hope that helps with your question. If it has answered your question and you're not a subscriber, then please come join us, guys. Yeah, if you're enjoying this analysis, want it every day, yeah, then please come join us. Subscribe to the channel, smash the notification button, and also smash that like button. Merci beaucoup. Speak many languages: French, English, you name it. Right. AURAUD, when you're in, do you look at the weekly first to make your bias? AURAUD, when I enter a swing trade, I'm not a swing trader, but if I am swing trading, the weekly and the daily chart is going to have is the view that I'm looking at. I'm not going to go down to H1 or H4 really. I might use H4 to enter, but a swing trade, yes, weekly is arguably my bias. Yeah. Day is king for me because I'm an intraday trader. But if I'm swing trading, week is king. Okay, depends on, because obviously you could hold a trade 4 weeks as a swing trade. Yeah, and I look for breakdown. Yeah, I could enter on the H4 chart when I see a break of structure. Yeah, exactly. Right, Thapello, Euro Canadian dollar. So this was a pair I have been looking at. And you can tell I've been looking at it because there's this grey line on it. So, yeah, what I'm looking at for Euro Canadian dollar is this. Sorry, guys, let me just, I've only got 15 minutes left. Right, so let me look at Euro Canadian dollar, and then I'm going to show you my trade ideas for today. Remember Euro Aussie dollar, which I showed earlier on in the video to Jade. This is a trade idea for today. So Euro Aussie dollar uptrend. I explained how I'm going to trade it. That is a trend for today. If you missed, that is a trade for today. Euro Aussie dollar long. If you missed that, guys, yeah, look back at the video and you will see it. Okay, but let's look at Euro Canadian dollar for Thapello. So yeah, if we start with the weekly chart here, guys, it's been bouncing off an area of potential resistance. Okay, so yeah, these highs here. Okay, so on the weekly chart, these were the last highs. Okay, so this area becomes important. And as you can see, price, we've had a wick. I wouldn't say it's a super aggressive reaction to the downside, but we had this wick that rejected this zone. Okay, so yeah, potentially could look for shorts. Then we go down to the day chart. And what I've seen, guys, is a break of this grey upward channel. My God, that is brilliant drawing, I must say, with the pen. Always happy with myself when I draw well. Small things. It's the small things in life. So it has broken out of this upward channel. But the problem you have is the last swing low. Yeah, this area here was the last swing low. So that's the problem you're having here. What could happen is price comes back up to this level here. Yeah, and we sort of get a head and shoulders form. Yeah, I see them everywhere. Like the Sixth Sense, he sees dead people, I see head and shoulders patterns. Yeah, so head and shoulders pattern. This is potentially an area here where we could start looking for shorts. Okay, so yeah, let's draw that in again. And this. So price comes back here, start of a head and shoulders pattern. We could start looking for a breakdown in H1 structure here. Yeah, to come lower. Okay, and we've got that head and shoulders pattern. Okay, or a break of this low. We get a break of this low. Yeah, then we can sort of get a retest and then we can start looking for shorts. Okay, so one of these two zones, I would be looking for shorts on this pair, but from one of these two zones, this one here or this one here. Okay, so I hope that helps the pillow. So yeah, Euro Canadian dollar, I would look for shorts. Let me just give you the other trade idea, guys. So Euro Aussie dollar long was a trade idea for today. Yeah, and I've explained why. Look back at the video, guys, afterwards, and I've explained how I would trade this long. Another trade idea is this. I've only got the two trade ideas. Remember some of the US dollar pairs I spoke about? I would consider trading them, but we need to wait for the Fed. But my second trade idea is this. Aussie dollar against the Canadian dollar. Okay, and if we look on the weekly chart, we'll start with this. So on the weekly chart, there's a few things to like. It's in a downtrend, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. And it's come up and potentially retesting this level. and we have room to move into. Yeah, we could come potentially all the way down to here. Okay, that will take weeks. Yeah, but potentially all the way down to here. So we like room to move into. We like this. This is what I look for. Room to move into. You need that. And if I zoom back in, yeah, we've got this happened. Yeah, what was once support, when it breaks, it becomes resistance. And we've had this huge wick here that closed back into this zone. So we could potentially, we've had a reaction and we could take price back down to these last lows. Okay, so weekly chart we like, we love. And then we go to the day chart, guys. The problem here is we're seeing a bit of resistance here. So the Aussie dollar, Canadian dollar is all about this channel here. Okay, this zone. So if we go down to the H4 chart, you'll see this more clearly. Yeah, but also on the day chart, you can see it's bounced off of these, what was once support. It's now bounced off and reacted at this level to come lower. Okay, so day chart we like the look of as well. This area here is potentially a lower high. Okay, then we'll see this grey zone quite clearly on the H4. Yeah, so it was once a good area of resistance. Yeah, and then when it broke, it's become a good area for support. All right. But remember, due to the weekly and the day charts, my bias is short. Okay, so my bias is short. So what I want to see, I'll show you on the H1 chart. Okay, because this is our execution chart. I just want to see, I would refine this grey zone. Let me try and refine this grey zone. Okay, so it's easier to see. Yeah, I'm just refining it because I'm looking at the H1 chart. And this is always my entry chart. So what I want to see, guys, is a breakdown of these lows. Breakdown of H1 structure, breaks all of these lows, a retest, and then we can take price lower, guys. Okay, so that's all I want to see on Aussie dollar, Canadian dollar. Price starts breaking up here, not interested, because this grey zone is so important. Yeah, I need to see a structure break of this grey zone, retest, and then I can take price lower, guys. All right, so that's all I want to see on this pair. Okay, if we zoom out, guys, yeah, your first target, which would make sense, would be this 86.50 level. Okay, I always look for the psychological levels, the 100s or the 50s. But yeah, break, retest down to here, and then even potentially down to these lows, guys, as well. All right, guys, so just to reiterate my trade ideas for today. Yeah, Aussie dollar, Canadian dollar, we're looking for shorts if we see this break, and Euro, Aussie dollar long if we see, yeah, also, yeah, let's just go back to that. We also need to see a structure break on Euro, Aussie dollar. This is Euro, Aussie dollar. We just want to see a structure break, retest, go to the upside. Okay. Guys, also, yeah, if I've missed your question, guys, join our Discord channel and leave your question there. Yeah, we can look at it during the day. There's loads of traders on there that would love to share their ideas as well, guys. So if we have missed your question, put it on there. Guys, thank you, Craigie P. Looking good, loving the charts. Much appreciated. Thank you, AUDCAD. Yeah, hit the like button, guys, if you are enjoying all of this analysis. Also, subscribe to the channel. Yeah, smash the like button, smash the notification button. Don't smash anything else because it's probably valuable. Yeah, okay, Nick. Yeah, great. If you're thinking about joining the mentorship program, please do send us an email, get in touch. We would love to, yeah, mentor you one-on-one with myself. So yeah, if you're interested in that, drop us an email All the information on everything we're doing at the moment, guys, is on the video description. Okay, so look at all the information in there. What's the time, guys? We're going to take a quick look at the news now, guys. All right, because yeah, I need to get going, guys. Okay, so I'm going to take a quick look at the important news for today. You pretty much all know the important news for today, but let me just take you through it. So hopefully you can see the news chart, guys. It's on another computer. We've got 3 million computers here. So let's start. So news for for Wednesday, the 2nd of November, we have got. So the first piece of important news for today, coming out of Germany at 9:55 London GMT, we've got employment data. So 2 pieces of employment data coming out of Germany. So if you're in any euro pair, guys, it's going to move it. So keep an eye on that. I say it's going to move it. It probably won't move it that much because all eyes are on the Fed interest rate decision. If we carry on down, guys, we have also got the big daddy, the heptizzle my nizzle of news. Yeah. So at 7 o'clock London GMT, coming out of the States, we've got the Fed interest rate decision, and they're looking to raise it by 75 basis points. Okay, so this is terrible news for my mortgages. And then also, guys, 30 minutes later, we've got the press conference, which is just as volatile, if not more volatile. Okay, so yeah, must be aware of that coming out, guys. Yeah, that is going to determine where this US dollar goes. Okay, guys, as you can hear, I'm losing my voice. So, guys, we're going to wrap it up today. Yeah, again, if I've missed any of your questions, please leave a question in the Discord channel, guys, and I will look to answer it there. Or we have a lot of great traders in there as well that can also help with anything to do with trading. Yeah, that's it, guys. I've enjoyed the live stream as I always have. I hope you have a fantastic trading day. If you've enjoyed it, please subscribe, like, and share. And I will see you tomorrow.